We've reached 10 years anniversary of me owing AvalancheReviews, the second part of my physical media video, and him not even wanting it. Because of a Putin's invasion, I haven't been home in 4 years, so instead of that, this one goes out to Jared.
Asshole.
Once upon a time, Nihon got tired of cloning Wizardry 1 for their every game. So we decided to clone another Western game, this time a European adventure game called Alone in the Dark, set in Lovecraftian universe. It was made by Infogrames, which despite already being extremely famous, decided to buy that twice bankrupted Atari name and wears its dead skin suit since. The game takes place in a zombie-infested mansion with a giant cultist temple underneath. A male or female character use stun controls, fight zombies and solve puzzles, and descend to the bottom to learn the truth and defeat the big bad. So Capcom changed this cultist temple into a science lab. The male or female protagonists now have some supporting no-hostile characters.
Jill Sandwich.
You're right.
And the name was changed to
Biohazard.
It seems it got decently popular in a couple of small countries, but no one cared about it in the rest of the world. Especially here, because PlayStation was for extremely rich people, and PlayStation 2 was so bad it has entirely failed, especially because it was competing against PCs during their rapid growth, and no marketing scam could make people pay money for movies at home. And well, in the cities where people could actually afford DVDs if they wanted, one free ad-supported TV channel focused on soap operas had an absolutely genius idea to turn feature films into a daily soap. They bought entire back catalogs of Western films and localized them.
21:00. Время кино на СТС.
Why buy crappy DVDs and a crappy DVD player for real cash when you can watch movie every day for free? And then other channels copied with strategy, so you had a choice between several options every day. While the Biohazard games have failed to breach international markets, their movie adaptation came out under a different title, which became an international household name. Both the original Resident Evil name and our Обитель зла localization were widely known. Some 30-year-old boomers may even remember them to this day. The movies propelled some obscure weeaboo gaming IP into a planet-wide stardom. International superstar actress model Mila Jovovich lured people into cinema theaters to see glimpses of her carpet, but the people stayed for cool action and the subversive scenes, which became so iconic they were re-imported into the games. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, duck and cover, swish and flick, rock, rattle and roll. And now let me dip my hand into each of the films.
1, 2, 3, go!
Wait, why didn't we use the Resident Evil announcer in the opening title? Being in the film, it would have become as iconic as in the games. Let me fix that. Resident Evil! A giant monopolist mega corporation makes manufactured waste, microplastics packaging, and biological weapons. Someone packs up weaponized vials and also breaks one to contaminate the entire facility and turn everyone into zombies. It's not exactly clear through the cinematography that it's the same person packing and breaking. Naked Mila wakes up with amnesia, ensuring that anyone who bought the tickets will not walk out. She explores her surroundings and is suddenly attacked by Marines! Together they all descend into a giant infested with zombies laboratory under the mansion to investigate the outbreak. They are eaten one by one or get into the traps like in any horror film. Then they exfiltrate, losing their members, and by the end the survivors get captured in a multi-twist ending, leaving the viewers with a final impression of a naked Mila. It is a very good action movie with some iconic scenes and a great soundtrack. No wonder it became so popular. It survived for that many sequels and kept the franchise alive. Resident Evil Apocalypse. The sequel starts with some exposition scenes from the past to set up the new side characters, before picking up where the first movie left. Naked Mila wakes up in an empty lab and fights herself in an empty city. Then she meets up with the new side characters, and they deal with the evacuation of someone amidst the panic in the city, and a zombie outbreak in progress. And then an especially big guy for you zombie. No, he is literally a big guy for you. The group completes their task, get betrayed, and the naked Mila is captured again. I suspect Biohazard games fanboys got bombramsel that the first film didn't feature
Jill Sandwich.
So that's why the sequel has so many random tacked on side characters moviegoers didn't ask for, pulling the attention from the established main character of this universe. It is still a solid action film with a good soundtrack, but the amount of blurry slow-mo is kinda irritating. Resident Evil Extinction. Mila wakes up in the first movie, but surprise, it's not the first movie. The world is now a post-apocalypse Mad Max 2 desert wasteland, and a group of survivors tries to find a safe place. Mila joins them until they discover the facility from the opening. Mila breaks in and frees her clones. This feels like the weakest film in the series because this is more akin to the generic fast zombie movies. It lacks the Resident Evil flavor, but it is a fun enough watch, and the soundtrack continues to be good.
Resident Evil Afterlife.
This film is one of the best events in the history of cinema. The ending of the previous movie set up an army of clones, and the sequel actually delivered it instead of retconning the last Palpatine. This motion picture starts with one of the most brilliant sequel openings. It's pure awesome action. And when they toned it down to return to the status quo of only one protagonist, they did it in a believable manner that fits the story. Mila tries to reach the safe place mentioned in the previous film, only to discover that it all gone to dogs, when they just travel a fork ton of kilometers to find themselves in a zombie assault on Precinct 13 movie. There they discover that Mila's original goal was a cargo ship. Another big guy for you, zombie, breaks down the wall to their holdout, so everyone tries to escape. The remaining characters arrive to the ship, which is revealed to be another umbrella facility filled with clean genetic material. They free the ship, but get surrounded by a giant umbrella army. It is a fun enough watch. There are some memorable and cool scenes. The soundtrack is still on point. The first film came out when having a good soundtrack was a common thing for a film. But this movie came out when USA movie norm became to have outdated to 1600s orchestral brown note white noise crap.
Resident Evil Retribution.
Mr. Wesker's wild ride never ends for poor Mila. The film picks up where the last one ends, and instead of surrendering, especially with so many clean people being there, they start a fight and a big number of the last surviving humans on Earth dies in the crossfire. Then we get another Mila fake out, the main Mila is naked again, after which it is revealed that this entire location is a physical simulation facility of outbreaks in different parts of the world. So this entry is an action pastiche collage instead of one big story. Such smart setup allowed them to have several major distinct locations in one movie, and they threw in cameos from the games and characters and their clones from different points in this timeline. When generic people all over the world were infected, they turned into zombies, but in their fatherland, even in death, conscripts still serve. This film critically lacks zombie Lenin. Most signs even use the correct Russian, as if Jovich personally spell-checked them. When they finally leave the madhouse, the film promises the best, most awesome possible opening for the next movie. And after I witnessed the fourth film actually delivering on their promise, and this one picking up where the last one has ended, I cannot wait to see the next installment. It's an entertaining enough action romp. Despite being updated with the times, the soundtrack is still good and distinct.
Resident Evil, the final chapter.
We went to a cinema theater to see this one. We waited in anticipation for the big white people house fight promised in the previous film. We were ready to suffer the official localization, we were ready to suffer the terrible 3D glasses with the fake 3D that looks like crap in the best of times. Womp womp. All what we were promised was only mentioned to happen off screen. And now we are back to the third film style western post-apocalypse. Also the 3D sucked, as always. Mila learns that there is the antivirus in the facility from the first film, so now she needs to go there. Along the way she picks up some survivors, and they are plowing through a high concentration of zombies to get inside. In the hive she learns that she is a clone and is upset, but that's super stupid. In the previous films she already knew she is a third or fourth generation clone, not even just a clone of a clone. Anyway, the good guys win, they spread the antivirus everywhere, and Mila rides into sunset. In its core it's an alright film, but it is too dark. Literally. And it brings with it a death of 1,000 cuts per scene. Also, it is filled with cheap jump scares. Despite it claiming that it is a final movie, I see no objective reason to stop this wild ride. I'd watch as many as they can make, as long as it remains being fun, and they don't start whining. Even now nothing indicates that it was a final movie, since it ends like unasked for sequels usually start. And I literally demand them to make the missing Resident Evil 5.5 film where they all fight zombies in the white people house.
Ютубач Дискос.